come back with the issue of the clashes at the University of Cape Coast campus. But first, let's take this report filed by Richard Kwejonyako on the violent clashes between some students of the University of Ghana and the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
Students of Atlantic Hall, Continental Hall, and Commonwealth Hall allegedly led the attack that led to the stabbing of 3 students. Many minor injuries have been recorded as a result of the skirmishes that started Saturday dawn. One of the students who was returning from night studies and was wearing Ogwa Hall t-shirts was stabbed severally by the student that attacked Ogwa Hall, leaving him paralyzed. Everything, glass and wood of Ogwa Hall has been destroyed. Vehicles belonging to the hall and a private vehicle have also been destroyed, as well as many losses that are yet to be calculated. The students from Commonwealth Hall, Continental Hall and ATL are alleged to have armed themselves with stones and machetes, attempted entering Ogwa Hall after the Power Night event of ATL as part of their Hall Week celebration. Their entry was fiercely resisted by the hallers of Ogwa.
I think the police didn't actually help, because I was here last night. I left here around 1 a.m. After 1 a.m., the district police commander was here with other men, and we gave them every information that we got or that we had, and we told them that these people are going to start the program. Afterwards, there will be a clash. Definitely, they will come back, and they promised to be stationed here and make sure order is restored. But to be frank with you, I think the police came here just to help them destroy our things here. They help them to overpower us, and they just help them to vandalize everything that we have here. Because I really don't understand. This is Ogwa Hallers. They are in their premises, and the people are coming from there. So how come the bullets were thrown?
Did you actually see bullets or tear gas?
Actually, disarm our guys here. They went inside
And then they
gave them the opportunity to come here and destroy everything.
Iyebediakun, hall master of Ogwa Hall, tells Joy News their intelligence suggested that the ATL Hall and the associates were planning an attack, and subsequently alerted the police.
I can ask for the minor injuries. There were many of them. But the serious ones, I could count 3, where one was stabbed at the neck, the back there. And as we are told now, the person has been referred to Kolebu, and he's at Kolebu now. Konfanoche Hospital now. And then the other person, he was stabbed at the stomach and was at the UCC hospital. And the other one also had his leg broken. So these are the 3 I saw with my eyes.
Police threw tear gas and rubber bullets in their attempt to deal with the situation. This forced dozens of students who milled through the tiny entrance of the hall, causing varying degrees of injuries. Student and hall authorities have blamed the police for their poor handling of the situation. But the police say they cannot be faulted because the event overwhelmed them, and in the exigencies of the situation, the police acted professionally using a calculated force.
And Richard Kwejonyako joins us for a conversation. Is this the normal, school rivalry? What was students from other campuses, not in Cape Coast, doing on the Cape Coast campus? Those are some of the things we want to find out. Richard Kwejonyako, good morning to you. I hope you're well this morning.
I am okay, Mama.
We thank God. So, Richard, usually when things like these happen, I mean, it's Vandal and Casford. I'm thinking, well, not Ogwa Hall. What were they doing in the midst of all this?
Well, it has a history. Last year, the Vandals and Unity Hall came to UCC, and upon the invitation of Atlantic Hall, they have an event called the Power Night, and it is the Profane Association of West Africa. So when they are invited like that, they take part in singing profane songs and then turning some popular songs, into some profane kind of songs. And so they are usually hailed and they are applauded by people. A lot of people go and watch them. But last year when they came, they went to Ogwa Hall, that is very close to Atlantic Hall. And according to the hall administrators and students of Ogwa Hall, they harassed some of their ladies, they destroyed some property, and so this year they took a definitive stance and a clear stance that they are not going to allow them if they come on campus. And so they closed their entrance and prevented them from entering. So students from Unity Hall, Commonwealth Hall, plus ATL, their hosts, they went there, they attacked the hall. And they destroyed buses.
Hang on. Let's just backtrack a little. So the Ogwa Hall, is it the same hall that's you're saying locked up the place because they didn't want anybody to enter?
Yes, Ogwa Hall, yes.
Okay. But the people forcefully entered anyway?
Yes, they couldn't enter because the students prevented them. The students came in front. And at the frontage of Ogwa Hall, there is a barrier they have erected, and it is there. It is not because of Commonwealth Hall, Unity Hall, and ATL Hall. That is why that one is there. It is at the premises and at the frontage of the hall. And so they did not allow them because there is really a bar that separates them from where the other students that have come to attack them are. And so they started throwing stones, and the stones were coming from every direction. I mean, from each direction, from the direction of Ogwa Hall and the direction of Atlantic Hall plus Commonwealth and then the Unity Hall. And so it led to a lot of destruction, and the aftermath of the destruction was that a student who had gone to study at night was returning, but because he was in an Ogwa Hall t-shirt, they stabbed him several times at his back, and we are told by medical officers that it affected his spine, and so the student couldn't walk. They said that he was paralyzed. And one of the students also was stabbed at the lower abdomen, and so the student was also rushed to the hospital. And the other was also stabbed on the leg, and so they also carried him to the hospital. Now, the level of destruction, according to the hall authorities, I mean, hasn't been quantified yet. Yesterday, the police administration said that there was a reprisal attack on a student from the Cape Coast Technical University that came to campus, and he was a Muslim. He was going to the mosque when some students started shouting that, oh, he was part of the group. And so they pounced on this guy, and I think they inflicted some machete wounds on the student. So yesterday, the regional police commander and some of the university authorities visited that victim at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. Now, what is emerging is that there are accusations and counter-accusations from the hall administrators and the police. The hall administrators are saying that the hall administrators are of the view that the police came there, they couldn't effect any arrest, and they couldn't also protect lives and property because, as we can see on the screen, their bus, the private vehicle, and anything glass has been destroyed. But the police administration says that they couldn't arrest anybody at that particular point in time because it would have led to a serious chaotic situation. And so that is why it was unable to arrest. And it doesn't mean that they are not going to arrest anybody because they have started their investigations, and their investigation would lead to the arrest of so many people. As we speak, last year clashes, some students have been rusticated, and they are going to sit at home for 1 full year before they come. The Dean of Students has also been speaking on the campus of the university, and he says that student visitation to the university campus has been banned, and so Unity Hall, Commonwealth Hall, had no right to have come to the university because, I mean, they were not welcomed by the university authorities, but they saw this anyway. And according to him, ATL Hall that was celebrating the birthday refused to disclose the people or the visitors they wanted to invite for their program, and the Dean of Students said that they had to go and amend them and then disclose the students that the people that they were invited, but which they failed, and so it led to all of this. So maybe that has been the situation here at the University of Cape Coast. As we speak now, the university authorities are in a meeting this morning, and they are yet to come out to speak with the public.
So, Richard, how many people from Accra in terms of the vandals, and then how many from the Unity Hall from the KNUST?
They came in bus loads. They were packed in big buses. They parked outside the university campus. They first went to Kesley Hall, and then when Kesley Hall disallowed them from entering their hall, they marched to Yogwa Hall, and after their Power Night event, that was where the mayhem started. And so, coming from University of Science and Technology, Unity Hall that came from there, they came in a bus load. So you can say that they are about 80 from Ken USC and 80 from the Commonwealth Hall from Lagos. And so, in terms of numbers, that is what we can say. And plus, their host ACL, I mean, it's a full hall. And I don't anticipate that all of the students will take part in this, but a sizable number of the students would take part in this.
But Richard, I wonder how the police is going to effect any arrests if some of the people who caused the trouble came from these other universities that are not in Cape Coast. How are they going to find them?
The police presence was at the event. The police received some intelligence from the universities that just was likely to happen. And so on Thursday, the police started patrolling the university campus, and they were there in their numbers. The police came, and then they saw that the numbers that were there overwhelmed them, and so they invited or they called for a reinforcement. And so the whole authorities and the student leadership, they were expecting that some arrest, because as soon as they started the distraction, the police would have moved in swiftly to do something. But the police administration says that it is not part of standard policing, because if they had attempted arresting any of the students, it would have, I mean, the spillage would have been more. And so that is why they did not arrest anybody. And
so Richard, it is fair to say that the police witnessed this chaos as it was happening?
Yes, they were in the home of affairs. They were full in control. And so that is why it beats their imagination. And the students from Ugwa Hall, the accusation was that the police were rather throwing rubber bullets and tear gas at their direction, because they remained at their entrance. They had not gone to anyone's territory, to any of the hall territory. They were protecting their territory. And they were surprised that the police were throwing tear gas at them, and they were throwing rubber bullets at them. And if you look at the entrance to Ugwa Hall, it's a narrow gate. And so it caused a lot of stampede. That resulted in a lot of injuries, some of the minor injuries that they recorded.
Let's, just before you go, Richard, this person who was returning and was caught up in the middle of this, who were told, and we hope that this isn't true, that he's paralyzed. I mean, what's the state or the condition of this person exactly? Well,
the last time we checked, that was yesterday. But when the incident happened, he's a level 100 student who was returning from night class. When the incident happened, the student was right to the hospital at the University of Cape Coast. They referred him to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, and he was subsequently referred to 37. And yesterday, the information I got from the police upon their last check was that they couldn't handle it there, and so the person has been sent to police. And so that is the state of the person. But all of these things, they raise a lot of questions, and some of the university senior members have been speaking. And to them, I mean, the level and the quality of training and the upbringing of these students should be reviewed, and the curriculum should be reviewed to include, I mean, some community service that students should be made to undergo at least not less than 200 hours of community service when they step foot in Ghana's tertiary institution. They should visit the prisons to know, I mean, what crimes the people there committed. They should also visit some of the psychiatric hospitals and the others to know the consequences of certain actions that they take, because he feels that it is not good for students belonging to a tertiary sector like the University of Cape Coast and two other major universities to come, and then all they are interested in is to stop their calling. I mean, they do not mind the consequences of their actions, whether the person will die or the person will be permanently paralyzed. And so these are some of the teaching questions that are really coming from some of the universities.
All right, Richard Kwajanyako, we will see what happens to the corporates if indeed they're able to make any arrests, and we're talking about the police here. Richard Kojanyako will keep us updated on the injured as well and following through on the story. Richard Kojanyako is our Central Region correspondent, updating us on this incident of some student from the Unity Hall of the University, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and some vandals from the University of Ghana, Legon, clashing on the University of Cape Coast campus, damaging properties and stabbing students as a result.